Okay, today is Thursday, August 29th, 2019 at 4 p.m. I am at Haunted Lake Shawnee in West Virginia. Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park in West Virginia. I'm here trying to update my video logs from this entire trip that I've been doing around the country, going to some of the most haunted places in the world. Okay, so I'm on day 4. Wait, day 5. Day 5, I spent the night at Walmart with the plan. Day 5 was August 21st. No, August 22nd. This is where things are going to get complicated for me because the days start blending in. Yeah, okay. Day 5 was Wednesday, August 21st. And I decided to head to the Mound. I didn't wake up that early. I'd slept, you know, I didn't wake up all that early, right? Like noon or something dumb. Slept at Walmart, woke up, head to the Mound. Go to the Mound. I go to the museum in the Mound. And like I said, it's day 5. I go to the museum in the Mound. Oh, the museum for the Mound. And I get this history of the fact that that giant burial mound is a 65-foot high, 250-foot wide burial mound of bodies created by the Adena people in 250 BC, before the dawn of time. And more ancient than like our Indians, and that shocked me. And so you got to think, a 65-foot high pile that's 250 foot wide, that's a lot of bodies, like lots of bodies. The whole thing's made of bodies. Basically they dig a little hole, put the body in it, and then put a bunch of sticks around it and cover it with mud using these wicker baskets that they make, wicker weaved baskets, whatever they were. And they estimate that, based off of what that is, that this mound had 3 million baskets. Took 3 million of them to make it, which is pretty crazy. But obviously it didn't happen all at once. It happened every time somebody died. And they just kept stacking it. And yeah, I mean, it has a really long history, basically, of white people doing terrible things, desecrating, you know, ancient artifacts like we always do. You know, but one of the white people actually managed to maintain this thing. I'm not gonna remember all the history all that well. You can kind of look up Moundsville Mound history, but it's pretty amazing that one of the guys preserved it. He built a museum by it, and then protected it, you know, and nobody destroyed it. There was even a point in the 1800s. Here's another example of like disgusting white people doing disgusting weird things, is that in the 1800s at one point somebody built a saloon on top of it and a racetrack around it. God. And I'm sure that would have been fun, but that's pretty disgusting use of that thing. Yeah, so, you know, they, lots of weird history. Basically, they ended up building the modern museum there. And here's the thing, when I went through the museum, then I found out that there's a gate around this whole thing. You're not allowed to go near it. Like all my live streams and stuff, I couldn't go up to it. I didn't know what it was. It was just a big pile with a big fence, spiky fence around it. And, but when I went through the museum, there was a door out and you can actually go to the mound. And I was like, oh, damn. So I went to the mound, and there's steps up the mound, and you get to walk to the top of the mound, which is another example of white people, you know, abusing ancient cultures in weird ways. And I'm one of the white people doing that, apparently, by walking on it, so I guess I'm a bad person. Right? Like, you know, use it for our own entertainment. So I walk up to the top of this thing, got a bunch of cool pictures, and you can see the prison in the background. It's right across the street from the prison. That definitely contributes to why it's so haunted. It has to, right? Like, you build a prison right across from a burial mound. from 250 BC, and there's gonna be some weird stuff. A prison with a bunch of murderers and people that killed people. Basically, I took a bunch of good pictures and went down to the bottom, and then I did the whole museum. It's filled with a bunch of like dinosaur stuff. It's really cool or whatever. Read a lot of history. And then I'm hanging out in the parking lot in my RV. I started playing guitar and I was just chilling. And like it was like, you know, almost 4 o'clock. It's going on 4 o'clock. No, it wasn't 4 o'clock. It was like 3 o'clock. It was 3 o'clock and I'm sitting in my RV playing guitar, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Because people told me I should go play guitar there. I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. But, you know, I don't know if they'll let me do that or what would happen. And so I'm sitting there playing guitar in my RV, and I'm like, man, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to ask the lady at the desk if I can do this. So I go in, if I can go record guitar on there, right? And so I go in there, and she's talking. There's actually scientists in this museum, by the way, uncovering ancient artifacts, and you can watch them through a piece of glass as they're uncovering artifacts. And one of the scientists was talking to the front desk lady, and I was like, ugh, those people probably have way too much respect for this. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't want to do that. And there's art there at this place, by the way, so they might have liked the idea of what I had to do, but we don't know. I didn't know. So I waited till that lady left, and then I came back in, and I was just like, and I was dressed like this, which is like not very classy, which normally I'd put on my nicer clothes to ask people stuff. But that was whatever. And I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, you think I could go record some videos of me playing classical acoustic guitar on the top of the mound? And then she's like, yeah, let me go ask somebody else really quick. Let me ask the supervisor or whatever. And so she walks in the other room, talks to somebody. I wonder what she said to her. That's the biggest conversation I want to know, is what was in that conversation. How'd she judge me? Because I didn't explain anything. Like, if I would explain myself, then there'd be a lot more validation in what I'm doing because I'm from far away and what I'm doing and all this stuff. But actually what happened was I gave her very little information, probably the most minimum amount of information that I could give. And she actually, you know, they said yes. And so I was like, damn. So I got permission. I went and changed clothes, and I had about an hour because they closed at 4:30 and it was 3:30 by the time I got all my gear and got out there. So I get on the mound, I have about an hour. I'm like, which is fine or whatever, but you might need to hurry if you're trying to take your time. So I got shots set up with my camera set up on top of there with the prison in the background on top of the mound, and I played some guitar, got some good videos. Those are really beautiful and pretty in their own way. And then I realized it was getting to 4:30, and I pack up all my gear at literally exactly 4:30. I ran down this mound, and then I get up to the door, and the door on the mound was locked. And they locked me in this big fenced thing that you can't climb. Like, there's spikes on the top of it, and there's no way to climb this. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna be trapped in here. Started kind of freaking out. So I start pounding on the glass in the window of the door. Oh, the guy is here. Okay, I'm gonna talk to him. But yeah, I start pounding on the door thinking I'm gonna be locked in. And you know, and then like a lady showed up. Luckily there was still somebody there, so I wasn't locked in, and I was fine. So she let me in, and I was like, oh my God, I almost got locked on this mound. Now it would have been kind of cool, besides the fact that it was raining, but yeah, anyways, so I got out of there, got the video, didn't get locked in, and I was lucky enough to you know, get to record on something from 250 BC. So that was a good day. And then I think I went back and stayed in my RV again that night at Walmart. I'm gonna go talk to Chris because he's here, the owner of Lake Shawnee Abandoned Amusement Park. yeah, so I think that's the end of day 5. Yeah, that was a good day. I stayed in my RV and did something. That was another unexpected, awesome adventure. You know, I didn't think I was gonna do that. Didn't know. Okay. Oh, okay, Chris isn't here. It's somebody else.